get your cart ready. Let's go grocery shopping. David is buying groceries at a supermarket, looking a little confused.
Hello, sir. Are you browsing or may I help you with something?
I'm looking for some vegetables. Could you tell me where the fresh produce section is?
Of course. It's in aisle 5. You'll find a range of vegetables there.
Thanks. What kinds of vegetables do you have?
We have fresh vegetables and frozen ones. Are you looking for something in particular?
I'm interested in organic vegetables. Do you have any?
Yes, we do. They are marked with special labels. Is there anything else you need help with?
Actually, yes. Where can I find dairy products?
Dairy products are in aisle 7 next to the meat section. If you need soy milk or oat milk, they should be there as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. If you need anything else, just let me know. Have a great shopping experience.
Thank you. I will.
Mike, I swear every time I go to the grocery store, I'm completely lost. It's like a maze in there.
Let me guess, you're wandering around for 20 minutes looking for bread, but you end up in the frozen food aisle.
Exactly. I mean, do they move things around just to mess with me?
Nah, they just know you're coming. Next time, just ask someone, could you tell me where the section is?
Wait, that easy? 所以 if I want to get bread, 如果我想要买面包，我可以直接说 Hey, could you tell me where the bakery section is?
Yep, works like a charm. No more grocery store adventures for you.
Wow, you just saved me hours of pointlessly pushing my cart around.
You're welcome. You'll be a pro in no time. Let's get to our article. It's about getting your cart ready. Let's go grocery shopping. Yes, indeed. Get your cart ready. Let's go grocery shopping. It's time to hit the grocery store or the supermarket. But luckily, Chickalin and I won't be doing that. We have David in our dialogue. And as we begin, it says David is buying groceries at a supermarket, looking a little confused. Oh dear. So he's having a bit of trouble. If you're confused, you don't quite know what's going on. You have many questions and few answers in your brain. But luckily, there's a clerk. That is someone who works in the store there to help David. The clerk clearly sees that David is looking confused. So like a good clerk, he goes over to help and he or she says, hello, sir. Are you browsing or may I help you with something? All right, so that's a good question to get from a clerk trying to help. And David is clearly there to buy groceries. Now, when we talk about groceries, we are talking about common daily supplies and things that you need around your home, things that you use a lot. Generally, when we think of groceries, we're thinking of food, fresh food, meat, fish, chicken, fruits, vegetables, bread, rice, stuff like that you eat almost every day. But we could also include some other household items like soap or shampoo, toothpaste, things like that. So groceries are things that you will use quite often and probably buy quite often as well. For an example sentence, we have this word, Albert stopped to buy some groceries on his way home. When we use grocery as a noun, generally we're using it in the plural form. So groceries is what you would say. You would never say, I have to buy a grocery. You would say, I have to buy something on my way home. But if you're talking about all of the things that you buy, then you can use the plural, groceries. We would use grocery, though, with the Y ending in the singular as an adjective to talk about the grocery store, which is a term that we will probably see later on.
OK, 所以呢 grocery 就是食品杂货的意思。所以去买食物，我们可以说 They went to the supermarket to shop for groceries for the weekend. 那刚刚出现的一个动词啊 browse 它就是浏览的意思。
All right, so back to our dialogue. David is clearly going to get that help. So what help does he need? He says, I'm looking for some vegetables. Okay, yeah, that's the typical type of groceries you'll buy at the grocery store or the supermarket. Some healthy vegetables to make a salad possibly. Could you tell me where the fresh produce section is? All right, if we're going to the produce section, that is basically where you will find your fruits and your vegetables, all those green and other colored, healthy, leafy things that you will buy most of the time and you will eat you should eat every day.
所以呢David 就说我在找蔬菜，你可不可以告诉我 produce section 在哪里？这是蔬果区的意思。
All right, so the clerk, of course, knows where the groceries are, where the produce, I should say, is. So the clerk says, of course, it's in aisle 5. That's where the produce section is. That's where you'll find your fruits and vegetables in aisle 5. You'll find a range of vegetables there. Well, that's good because most stores will, of course, have a range of things. If they only had carrots, it would be a pretty bad grocery store. A range is a variety of things. When you have a lot of choice, when they have a lot of options, when there are a lot of things of a different type for you to choose from, that is a range. Most stores that we go to will have a range of whatever you're looking for. A shoe store will have a range of shoes. A bookstore will have a range of books. And a clothing store will have a range of clothing, a variety, a choice, because, of course, not everyone wants exactly the same thing. For example, we could say this store sells a range of handbags and purses. Big ones that can be very useful, you use every day, and maybe cute, pretty little ones that you might just use when you go out for the night.
所以 aisle 就是我们商店货架间的那个走道，或者是车上的座位的走道都可以用这个字。Range 就是种类，我们常常会说 a range of something 代表各种一系列的东西。比如说 the store offers a wide range of products from electronics to clothing. 所以店员就说 of course 当然可以啊，生鲜蔬果区在第5个走道，你可以在那边找到各式各样不一样的蔬菜。
All right, back in our dialogue, David is very happy to get this information from the clerk that the produce section is in aisle 5. It's not too far away, so he says thanks. And then he asks about that range of produce or the range of vegetables specifically. What kinds of vegetables do you have? Clerk says, we have fresh vegetables and frozen ones. So 2 types of vegetables that they have there. That's a little unusual. Generally in the produce section, they wouldn't have the frozen vegetables. They'll just have the fresh vegetables. The frozen vegetables will be in the aisle with all of the other frozen foods, along with the frozen pizzas and ice cream and stuff. But yes, most stores will have in different areas fresh vegetables, the green leafy ones that you can take home and eat right now, and then the frozen ones that you'll have to cook or boil, but you can also keep them in your freezer for a very long time. The clerk also asks, are you looking for something in particular? Is there a certain type of vegetable that you really want to find? But yes, we have this word frozen. Frozen just basically means something that has been taken down to a temperature below 0 degrees Celsius. Ice is frozen. Ice cream should be frozen. Otherwise, it's just sort of like sweet, thick milk. But if something is frozen, it's very, very cold. It is below the temperature of 0 degrees Celsius. And certain foods, certain types of things, we can freeze bread, you can freeze meat, you can freeze vegetables of certain types. But other types with a lot of water, like if you try to freeze a tomato or freeze an orange, it might not go so well. But you certainly can freeze things like peas and carrots and things like that, things with less water in them. And frozen vegetables, of course, can last a long time if you keep them frozen, if you keep them at that very cold temperature. Here's our example sentence for this adjective. Ellen bought 2 frozen pizzas to eat on the weekend. There you go. You'll take it out of the freezer. It will be very icy and cold, but after putting it into into an oven, I should say, to warm up for, 45 minutes or so, you'll have a nice, hot, sticky, cheesy pizza.
所以 frozen 就是冷冻的意思。比如说 the chicken was so frozen when she took it out of the freezer. 当然因为你放在冷冻嘛，所以冷冻库就是 freezer。所以 in particular 也就是特别尤其的意思。所以店员问了 David 说你有特别在找什么吗？这种意思。
All right. So yes, the clerk wanted to know if he was looking for something or some kind of vegetables in particular, like a very exact or precise, only these types would be the ones that you're looking for in particular. So is he? He says, I'm interested in organic vegetables. Do you have any? Okay, so he is kind of interested in certain types of vegetables in particular. Not a certain type of vegetable like a carrot or a pea or a lettuce or something like cabbage or something. But no, more of a category, a type of vegetables. These are organic vegetables, the ones that he's interested in buying. If something is organic, this adjective tells us that it is grown in a very natural kind of way. The farmers or the gardeners who grow it won't be using harmful chemicals. Chemicals that can make the plants grow faster, possibly, that can protect the plants from disease or from bugs. They use none of these chemicals on the plants. They often wouldn't also use sort of plant food or fertilizer, as we might call it. They might use natural plant food, in other words, animal poop, to give food to the soil and the plants, but they won't use chemicals in those unnatural things like they do often on many large farms and in many large gardens. So a lot of people like organic food, and they will pay more for it because they feel it is healthier and safer for their bodies. There's this idea that if you eat things that have had chemicals put on it, the chemicals might then enter your body and could possibly make you sick or give you diseases over a long time. So organic food, while being a little bit more expensive, is sometimes by some people thought as being a little bit safer and healthier. For example, we could say John prefers organic strawberries because he thinks they are safer to eat. And with their thin skin, organic strawberries might be something you would want to spend your money on. But something like a banana where you take the peel, the outside layer, the outside covering, where you take that off, I don't think you need to waste your money on things like organic bananas in many cases.
Okay, organic 就是有机的，没有化肥的意思。所以一些有机的蔬菜或农产品可以叫 organic produce。然后大卫就说我比较喜欢有机的蔬菜耶。Do you have any? 你们有吗？你们有机的蔬菜吗？ Do they have it?
They do indeed. Of course, like any well-stocked supermarket or grocery store these days, the clerk says, yes, we do. They'll often have a special section, and there's other ways of knowing if they're organic or not. As the clerk says, they are marked with special labels. So there'll be a special sign or a sticker or something on the package when you buy it. The other thing you might notice is the price is higher. So if you see some tomatoes that are, almost twice the price as other tomatoes, maybe you're looking at the organic tomatoes because they are often a bit more expensive. But these ones are marked with special labels, so it's very easy to tell which are the organic and which are the non-organic produce items. Is there anything else you need help with? The clerk asks, since they're there and helping out and answering questions. The clerk wants to know if there's anything else that David needs help with. Before we get to that answer to the question, we have this word label. A label, as I said, can be a special marking or a tag or a sticker because it's basically some small item that has writing on it and the writing contains information of some kind. The most common label you would probably think of would be on the back of a piece of clothing. And it will tell you what the clothing is made of, cotton or nylon or leather or whatever it is. It will also probably tell you where the item of clothing was made, the name of the company or the designer that has, made this clothing, and also the size. The most useful things on the label on your clothing would be the size. Is it small, medium, large? And they also would have a label probably that tells you how to wash the item of clothing safely so that it doesn't get ruined. Those little markings will give you information. We can also talk about a price label on many things. They'll put a little sticker, it will have a number on it, and that number is how much the item costs. So information that is important and useful and people want to know will often be put on a label on a product. For example, the label on this shirt says medium. Do you think it will fit me?
Label 这边是标签标记的意思，当名词。当动词的话可以有被标注为的意思。所以店员就说有的有机蔬菜我们有特殊的标签标记，你还有需要其他的协助吗？
All right, so yes, there is another question that David has. He says, actually, yes. So he's kind of saying, yeah, thank you for asking me. I do have another question for you. Where can I find dairy products? Okay, yeah, a whole other category of food items that people will commonly buy for their grocery shopping. Dairy products are things made from or containing milk. So think of things like milk, of course, butter, cheese, yogurt, ice cream, stuff like that. So if you can't eat certain things that are made from milk, you would say, I can't eat certain dairy foods. Dairy foods, foods that are made with or contain milk. For example, John can't eat most dairy products. They give him an upset stomach. He is what we would probably call lactose intolerant.
好，就是对乳糖不耐症。所以 dairy 呢就是乳制品的意思。所以比如说乳品的农夫就是 dairy farmer， 比如说 Her family has been dairy farmers for 3 generations. 然后大卫就问说，诶，那个卖牛奶的地方在哪里呢？
Dairy products are in aisle 7 next to the meat section. That's where the clerk tells David to go find them a few aisles over, but also very convenient. If you need soy milk or oat milk, they should be there as well. And these types of milks, of course, do not contain any dairy products, so they are safe if you don't accept dairy products in your stomach as easily as others.
OK, 所以呢，里面会卖什么？可能像 soy milk 就是豆浆啦 ，oat milk 就是燕麦奶 ，as well 就是也的意思，通常是放在英文的句尾里面哦。所以店员就说乳品制区在第7个走道，也就是在肉品区的旁边。如果你需要豆浆或燕麦奶，那边也可以找得到。
All right, perfect. David says, thank you so much. That's exactly the information he needed. The clerk says, you're welcome. If you need anything else, just let me know. The clerk is happy to help. Have a great shopping experience, the clerk says, as they end their conversation, and David says, thank you, I will.
所以喜欢今天的主题吗？不要忘记按赞、订阅、分享我们的 YouTube 频道跟 Facebook 的专页哦。那我们今天有一个 For You Chat question. So Mike, do you prefer small local supermarkets or large chain stores, and why?
When you say large chain stores, do you mean like the big box stores like Costco and
Yes.
that kind of thing? I think then I prefer small local supermarkets. Many of those large chain stores are the big box stores, the hypermarts. We often call a smaller one a supermarket. This would be a hypermarket or hypermart. They just have too many big things that I don't use up very often, and not a lot of choice too.
I agree with you. I think we're all of the same mind. Like local supermarkets, the one that's in Taiwan is a Pizza Mart. I forget.
PX Mart, I think there's
Mart,
one.
yeah. 是那个全联吗？对，那个或者是 like Jason's Market, something like that.
Yeah.
Smaller.
Yeah, and they often have other interesting things that you might not find at the really big stores. All right, we'll have more from the grocery store tomorrow. So please come back and join us for that. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Grocery. Arthur paid for his groceries and then put them in his bag before leaving the supermarket. Range. This summer camp offers a wide range of activities for children, from art classes to horse riding to baseball games. Frozen. Frozen meals are convenient for people who don't have much time to cook after work. Organic. Many people choose organic food because they believe it's healthier and better for the environment. Label. Katie always checks the labels on clothes to see which company makes them. Dairy. Bella gets sick after eating dairy products, so she can't have cheese or milk.
智慧小补帖
Browse. Aisle. Soy milk. Oat milk.